The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide, no one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
Welcome, race fans, back to PTRTV on LSRTV. It is another night of the Integrity Racing League as the playoffs wind down, the intensity winds up. We're at the Texas Motor Speedway for the second race in the round of 8. 3 races in the round, eventually leading down to Miami Homestead Raceway for the Championship 4. But we have some work to do here tonight. First, giving you the calls. Tonight is going to be myself as usual, Corey Silva, and well, it's been a long time, but Brandon Krutz back in the booth with me tonight, and of course Joe Chris helping us out behind the scenes. So Brandon, first of all, I mean, did you find the booth okay? It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, my chair's a little bit dusty, Corey. I don't know if you guys have cleaned this thing up at all since I last used it, but I'm here, I'm ready to go, and ready for some good racing at Texas tonight.
Yeah, these guys under qualifying right now. In fact, some guys still on the speedway turning their times, as we'll focus on some of these drivers right now, as we see Don Stevenson in the 47 and cruising on by for his qualifying time, 9th on the board. You will see as I tried to fancify some things up a little bit, little flag denotations on the ticker. If a driver has a yellow flag, he is in the playoffs, and if a driver has a green flag, then he is locked into the next round, and the only driver with that is Adam de Blasio, as I can show you the point standings right now. Well, that is not the point standings. This is the point standings. Adam de Blasio locked in. Jacob Fife has a 7-point buffer. Don Stevenson has a 3-point buffer. Sam Nieto has a 1-point buffer in the cutoff spot right now. And then Eisenhower -1, William Dunn -3, Wetmore -7. All those positions can change in one event, but I'll say Eric de Blasio probably going to need a win it in. 23 points out, Brandon. Quite a lot to make up.
Yeah, absolutely it is, and you know, when it comes down this close to the end of the season, Corey, things start to get tight.
Yeah, they do, and as we said, one position is 1 point on each position is 1 point on the track, and then we have the bonus points and stuff to boot, so that definitely can shake things up. And you know, at Phoenix next week, where we do go, Brandon, that's going to be a lot of close quarters racing on that short track, that 1 mile awkwardly shaped track down there in Phoenix. So these guys really want to have a good run here tonight at Texas, a track that the drivers have a lot more time at running.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. The mile-and-a-half things will get spread out here in no time and give these guys an opportunity to focus on what they need to do to handle the race car. Next week at Phoenix, they may not have that opportunity. Short track racing, hard-nose racing, and going into tonight's race at Texas, it's going to be all about the drivers.
Yes, it is, and you will see some dynamic track. In fact, I'm pretty sure in the 167 laps we do have tonight with a grid of about 25, 26 drivers, you will see that dynamic track really come into play. These drivers run on the bottom right now in qualifying. You can see the groove darkened up on the bottom, but I really do expect, Brandon, these guys will be running all over this Texas Motor Speedway trying to find the grip.
Absolutely, they will be, Corey, and it's going to be really important if you miss that line just a little bit. This car will either get loose or push up on you, so these guys are really going to have to be careful.
Yes, they will, but we have the grid to bring to you. These drivers are lining up on this Texas Motor Speedway, so let's bring it to you. The starting lineup here for the Integrity Racing League at the Texas Motor Speedway. On the pole with a lap time of 28.685, Caleb Eisenhower will be leading the field down tonight with Adam de Blasio in position number 2. Marco Tomasini rolling off P3 and Sam Nieto in the 4th spot. In P5 is Michael Duell, sponsor of the race. This is the Doolok on Twitch 250 rather. Forgot to mention that is Michael Duell sponsoring this race. William Dunn in the 6th spot, and then Nick Ward and Jacob Fife 7th and 8th.
Starting in the 9th position is going to be Tyler Hurd. Don Stevenson starting 10th. 11th is going to be Cody Smith. Tom Wetmore starting 12th. 13th is going to be Guillermo Alvarez. 14th is going to be Alan Rowell. Starting 15th is going to be Renato Pastillo, Corey?
Pastillo, I believe. Yes.
Pastillo. And starting in 16th is going to be Christopher Seltzer.
And then Stove Price Jr. in 17th. Matt Busa, big name. Know him from the Peak Series, going for that championship, but he's going to be joining these guys tonight from the 18th spot. Alan Pahari in 19th and Jason Miller in 20th. Jay Heisman 21st, Camilio Thompson 22nd, Lee Pierce in 23rd, and I'll just round it off because I'm pretty sure we're almost done. Mark Robertson in 24th, Kent Weatherall 25th, and Randy Fayash rounding out the field in 26th.
Ladies and gentlemen, 25 cars going to be taking the green flag tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. The Doolok on Twitch 250 here tonight. The field is set and ready to go green. One pace lap round behind the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car, and we'll be going on to some good racing action.
Yeah, and Brandon, again, as I said, remember that 34, give a quick focus to him, Matt Busa. We saw him just a few weeks ago. He was at Homestead Miami Speedway going for the 10 grand in the iRacing Peak Antifreeze Championship. Didn't quite take that home, but obviously one of the best drivers on iRacing on the oval side of things. So definitely going to be a good test for these Integrity guys tonight to see how they can fare against one of the best drivers out there.
Absolutely, Corey. One thing that we're going to have to watch out for, Caleb Eisenhower sitting up on pole here tonight. She's going to be able to drive away from these guys, or maybe Adam de Blasio is going to have something to say again. Adam coming off a win from last week.
I know, Brandon, you're not around here as much, but do you have any guesses as to how many wins Adam de Blasio has on the season so far?
Oh boy, I've been trying to keep track of the series, Corey, but off the top of my head, I don't know.
Just take a stab at it. Let's see if you're high or low.
I'm gonna take a guess at 11.
13 wins.
Now, I was close, and I knew it was going to be around there, but Adam de Blasio on a roll this season, trying to lock down the championship.
Yeah, he is. He's going for number 14, and, well, I think he has a very good chance to do it tonight, but he has a lot of competition behind him that wants to say something different about that story as we come off corner number 4 here. Caleb Eisenhower in the 51, the control car to the inside, de Blasio to the outside. When will Eisenhower get this race underway? And there he goes in the restart zone. Green flag in the air. We're racing in Texas.
The number 51 machine, Eisenhower, got a pretty good restart there, or jump off the initial start there. De Blasio is going to be able to fall in line behind him. They're going to be side by side for the 3rd position back there, and also the 37 and the 22.
Yes, they are. 37 and the 22, Tomasini and Nieto. Nieto, remember, he is still a playoff driver. You can see by the green decals on the machine. He's to the outside of the track. The outside's not where you want to be quite yet. The grip is not there, but that 37 is running him door to door as they complete lap number 1.
Still going to be side by side for that third position.
Eisenhower!
Oh no! The 51 machine almost taking a ride, and around he goes! Contact! They're wrecking! They're stacking them up!
Huge wreck. Eisenhower, playoff implications. They're not
42,
done.
29, 73.
Wetmore is a playoff driver as well, and that's going to take out about, maybe not take out, but 5 cars at the very least damage. We're going to have to go back on replay. I know there was some hard-nosed racing going on with the 48. See, off corner number 4, the 48 of de Blasio, he had a really good run. He looks to the inside. Looks like he got into the back bumper. And when he got into the back bumper, Eisenhower just goes for a ride down on the apron. And when he went up back on the apron, back onto the racetrack, collected some cars. William Dunn, a playoff driver as well. 3 playoff drivers all involved in that.
The quad oval here at Texas, Corey, the cars are already not wanting to handle too great, and, you know, they get a little bit light through there. The slightest of contact just sent Eisenhower up the racetrack, and unfortunately, nothing else that he could do but to take it right down low and try to slow himself down, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Now, is that a scenario, Brandon? Do you think that maybe Eisenhower was, well, maybe de Blasio expected to be given some room and just wasn't given it?
Well, you know, taking a look back at it, Corey, there was a heck of a run there from that 48 machine, and I think he saw the gap down low, and there just wasn't quite enough there. I don't know. That's a tough call to make.
Yeah, but you can see a split decision on pit stops already. Obviously, a lot of drivers coming to pit road with damage issues, and some drivers, well, maybe just any little bit of fresh tires. They are definitely going for it. So, I mean, that's just major implications, Brandon. I were just talking about drivers. We were Sam Nieto involved in that. Caleb Eisenhower, Tom Wetmore. Actually, not Nieto. I'm sorry. He was not involved in that. It was Eisenhower, Dunn, and Wetmore all involved in that. And all 3 of those drivers, they were on the backside of the cutoff. They needed runs. They needed points. And, well, their race already going to be fighting from behind very early on.
Yeah, big-time playoff implications there for Caleb Eisenhower. Adam Blasio stayed out that round of pit stop, so he's going to remain in the lead after that contact. No damage to that 48 machine. A little bit of a bump there through the quad oval is what sent that 51 machine around, but the nose looks clean and looks like he's ready to race again.
Yeah, and it just... I mean, it's something where, I mean, you could say on both sides, should the 51 maybe have just given more room? Should the 48 maybe have just held off? But these guys, I mean, it doesn't matter. Obviously, de Blasio doesn't have anything to race for. He's already locked in. He's just going for the win. You can't really fault people for hard racing, but at the same time, I mean, it's kind of, as I said, we can kind of go on both ends of the spectrum there, but however we want to call it, we are on the 1 to go. Quick caution there as we head through 1 and 2. We're about to get back racing.
4 laps down at the moment. These guys currently on lap 5 and going to come around to lap 6 here at the drop of the green flag.
See, Eisenhower's car, significant damage. That car is not going to be up to full song, and same thing with Wetmore. Significant front end damage. William Dunn looks like he may be the best of the 3, so we'll see how he is able to tread along as we're down the back straightaway. And well, we'll try that one more time. Race sponsor Michael Doolok will be on the outside of the front row this time. De Blasio will be the control car with the lead. And then we have Nick Ward and Jacob Fife rounding out row number 2.
These guys coming around stacked up, doubled up behind the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. Going to be coming around to the green flag this time by pace car. Makes that hard left turn down into the safety of pit road. Field in the hands of de Blasio. He's on the throttle. We're green flag racing once again.
Yes, he is, and rather a big jump he was able to get over Duel in the number 88 machine. They'll head into corner number 1 and 2, and 97 try to close in on the 88, but they are door-to-door for position number 3. That's Stove Price Jr. and looks like Jacob Fife battling door-to-door down the back straightaway.
Saw a big-time block there somewhere further back of the field, down the back straightaway. Everybody makes it through clean and green. Battle back here for the 4th position. Now Steve Price Jr. trying to take a look at it, and looks like he's going to come away down that the 14 machine. He's going to walk away that 4th position.
Yes, he will. Having a good run thus far. Good qualifying effort, trying to make the most of it. Nieto had a little bit of a look to the inside of Jacob Fife. Fife is a playoff driver, does not have the green decals on his machine. Kind of confused me last week at Martinsville, but we have to remember he is a playoff driver. So having a good run in the 5th spot at this point, and then we go a little bit further back and some door-to-door action going on as Nieto is going in the wrong direction now. That's Alan Pahari in the 29 to the inside.
Yep, so those guys going to continue to battle it out back there as they'll go side by side. Down going into corner number 3, Nieto going to come out of that one. Everybody keeps it clean and green. The 22 machine prevails out of that battle.
And we are, looks like these guys, a couple positions still to be sorted mid-pack. Now, it's Tyler Herr in the 19. He is on the high side of the track. And, well, the high side, as I was saying in pre-race, Brandon, the high side, it's not maybe where you want to be yet. But as this track rubbers in, I've done some races here in this Monster Energy Cup machine. And these guys, as they are 3 wide, entering 3, and Tyler Herr around.
Caution flag on the speedway. The number 19 machine goes around to the center of the corner. No contact with anything, I don't think, Corey.
Not
the number 19 car looks clean.
He did see that number 37, I think Marco Tomasini just took a power move in there. Then Al Pahari kind of a reactionary move to give him space, but in doing so, Herr was up there and caused there to be that little bit of contact. Herr just spun around. He is, as we can tell, he is okay. Just lost some position, maybe a little upset, but
beautiful job by her, though, to keep it off of that wall, and beautiful job by the rest of the field to be able to avoid him as they did, and I applaud that. Tyler Herr is going to walk away from this thing with a clean race car.
As everyone does come down pit road, except Don Stevenson in the 47, maybe going for the bonus point, or maybe just going for the track position. We'll have to find that out, but Brandon, some aggressive racing going on rather early in this race tonight. Kind of unexpected for what we usually see out of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely, some aggressive racing, and I think that's just the nature of the track, Corey. You know, these guys trying to get everything that they can off of these starts and restarts, and it's leading to a little bit of rough racing on the circuit.
Yeah, and Texas Motor Speedway as the race off pit road. That
was tight. Maybe a little bit of contact on pit road there from a 97.
Yeah, de Blasio not having the best of stops. Stove Price in the 14 will win the race off pit road, but there were 3 drivers that did stay out. It was Don Stevenson, Christopher Schetzler, and Guillermo Alvarez all staying on the speedway. 7-lap-old tires that they have on, so we'll see if indeed they choose to stay and remain on the circuit with those tires. But oh, I had a point in mind. I totally lost it at the end of pit road there, so I'll have to see if I can get that thought back.
Well,
damn old age.
Oh, stop it, Corey.
Hey, I'm hitting the big 30 in a couple months, man.
Oh, the big 30, God forbid.
As let's see if the lights remain on. They do not, so we will go racing this time by. And as they said, we do have those 3 drivers that did stay on the track. So Stove Price Jr. in the 14 will be the first driver on fresh tires. He'll be rolling off. Well, he's being scored in 4th, but he's actually, yeah, he's on the outside of the 2nd row. I was into the wrong driver there. Then Nick Ward, Adam de Blasio. Remember the leader before that. He's going to have to roll off in the 6th spot. So has a couple of drivers to pass, and he's going to have to be careful. Keep that number 48 in good condition, because while we've seen the rough riding tonight, we've seen so far, but Texas, Brandon, if we can get going, I'd say about 10 or so laps, I think we're really going to get off onto a long green flag run.
Yeah, I had to agree, Corey. Stevenson and Schultzler are going to be on the front row here for this restart, and well, let's see what happens here, Corey.
Let us do so. Don Stevenson has a good record this season, has had a lot of good runs. He's going to have a little bit of a disadvantage, but can he make the most of it from P1? Let's see what happens. Pace car is in pit road, and we wait for the 47, and there he goes onto the throttle. Green flag back in the air.
Good restart so far. The 47 machine gets the jump out front. 24 machine able to fall behind. Here comes the 83 from the 14. Going to be side by side for that third position.
Yes, they are. Got to be really tight off of corner number 2.
Boy.
Nearly in the fence was the 14. Turn 2 gets very tight here at Texas. The 88 with a power move to the inside of de Blasio.
Hello and goodbye. Here comes de Blasio, that 48 machine. He's going to be waving out his rear view mirror now. He's storming to the front once again.
Yeah, he was 6th. Now he's already in 4th after 1 lap. Those older tires up front, those guys are going to try to gain as much time as they can, because that 48 with those slightly better tires, he is going to be a man on a mission, as Don Stevenson is up by only about 1 car length over Schetzler in the 24. And, well, that 48, he's already working that second lane. And look at him, shot out of a cannon. He's already there.
Coming up to the back bumper of that 14 machine now. The 48 de Blasio, nowhere to go at the moment. They're side by side in front of him. He's going to try to shoot the gap down to low underneath the 24 machine.
Yeah, 24 in the unideal groove up top. Not quite wore in yet is that upper groove. So the 48 will have the line he needs. He will clear for position number 3 rather easily. Set his sights on the 14 and the 47.
Schetzler dropping like a rock at a waterfall back there. De Blasio making his way up towards the front now. Has his eyes set on the 14 machine for that second position, as they're going to try to get racy up front.
Yeah, they will. And they know that they have a very short time frame to be up front, because the battle is going to be on with de Blasio, who is there right now, just on the back bumper of the 14. But the 14, he wants to try to lead a lap. He wants to try to get something out of this before that 48 gets there. And look at him stalking the back bumper of the 47.
Stove Price Jr. in that 14 machine. Don Stevenson trying to defend the lead. They're going to be side by side here going into corner number 1.
Yes, they will, and the lead will go to the 14, and the door is open for the 48 to the inside with Stevenson out there on the banking, but the 48 couldn't get the run off corner number 2. Very tight corner exit there, so the 48 does get back in line. We'll see if the 14 can indeed lead this lap. Looks like he will do so.
De Blasio making his way back to the back bumper to that 47 machine, now looking down on the low side. Coming through the quad oval now, looks like he may be able to take the second position away going into corner number 1 here, and that he will. That leaves the door open for the 88 for that third position.
Yes, it does. Michael Duell in the number 88. Remember, race sponsor Doolok on Twitch 250 here tonight. These guys are racing in, so he wants to have a good run, and he so far is having it. Remember the slightly fresher tires. He is closing in onto the back bumper of Don Stevenson. He is going to try to take a look to the inside. Not quite there yet. But he's going to send it off in there, get himself a little bit loose. 47 does give him room, washes up the track, does the 88. They will go door to door off of corner number 2.
Side by side for that third position right now. The 88 looking down low. Micah Duell in that 88 machine. The 47 up high. Don Stevenson starting to fall back now as well.
Yes, he is. Those older tires are starting to be to his detriment right now. And the 97 of Nick Ward looking to the outside of Jacob Fife. Remember, Fife in the playoffs. He is on the positive end of it right now in second, but doesn't want to lose these spots. But he is to the inside of Schetzler. Remember, Schetzler stayed out on those older tires. He is trying to get a run, or whatever run he can, is door to door with the 97. And here comes another playoff driver, Sim Nieto, trying to get into this battle.
Now for the lead, the 48 machine, Corey de Blasio. He's right up to the back bumper of that 14 machine now.
Yes, he is, as we expected, again, with the fresher tires to the outside. A little bit of a late apex there. That 48 trying to run a slightly higher groove, but won't be able to run high on exit. Has to get right down into that preferred line on the inside of the track. Only separated by about a tenth of a second, and this is about that point in the run where the tires are starting to equalize out just a little bit, but the 14 didn't get through 3 and 4, and all that time to the inside opens the door. Here comes Adam.
De Blasio kind of diamond to the corner a little bit there. Got the run on exit. He's going to take it over down into corner number 1. The 14 actually going to try to fight up high. He's got nothing for that 48 machine right now. De Blasio is going to pull away.
Yeah, so de Blasio, well, I mean, if the season trend is accurate, he is going to start driving all the way to Phoenix and leave these guys in the dust. But I think these guys are going to hope that something happens, or maybe someone will have some long-run speed to challenge. But we'll see if the 14 does drop off. He's so far hasn't lost much time, but obviously as the tires do degrade, do expect that 14 to drop off, but he definitely is putting up a fight.
Yeah, trying to put up a fight. I notice he's driving it a little bit deeper into the corners in that 48 machine. That could be abusing the tires, Corey. Even the slightest bit. De Blasio kind of taking a higher entrance into the corners and diving it off down to the bottom of the racetrack, where 14 machine's kind of driving it straight in.
Yeah, you kind of want to do whatever you can to get that better run on the exit of the corners. Usually that involves a little bit of a late apex and cutting to the bottom, and then having a straight shot off of the corner will help you off the straightaways and help you put less wheel into it. But Texas, one of those tracks on the schedule, Brandon, where these guys will really be able to save the tires. They'll be able to move around. So a guy who may be good on the long runs, maybe he doesn't have that short run car, and vice versa.
Now, de Blasio starting to drive into next week now. He's going to be pulling away from the fields, and that leaves the 14 machine of Stowe Price in the dust. Michael Doolok still back there in that third position.
Yeah, 47 of Don Stevenson, but he was the leader. He has about 3 cars right to his back bumper. Nick Ward in the number 97. Looking to the outside right now, Sam Nieto in the mix right now as well. Then remember, peak driver Matt Busa, he is right at the end of this as he gets to the outside of Nieto. Very tight call there off of 2. But Busa trying to make that outside work, is in the top 10.
Matt Busa in that 34 machine working the outside in his Toyota Camry, trying to make it work. He'll have the run. He's going to take that position away from Stevenson in that 47.
Yes, he will. Busa up to 6th, and well, there's a couple more positions on the immediate grab for him. Ward and Fife right in front of him, as Stevenson losing another spot, as does look like that the outside may be coming into play. Seeing some drivers move up there and gain some time, but you see Busa making that pass right on the white line. Gets himself into the top 5. He's about 2.5 seconds off the lead.
Matt Busa moving up through the field at the moment. Corey, is he one that these guys may have to watch out for?
Oh, most certainly is. Saw him a couple races well early in the season. Obviously, being a busy man with the peak schedule threw him potentially out of the mix, but maybe turning up for these last few races, showing these guys what he can offer them for competition, and see if he can do anything with that number 48, who hasn't had too much competition this year. I mean, he's won 13 races. There's been a couple races he has had some problems in, is the 48, but we'll indeed see if that number 34 is any challenge for him, as we do complete lap number 28, and about 1/3 second is the gap over P2.
Corey, something I'm noticing is the rubber building up at the bottom of the racetrack, and these guys slowly but surely maybe starting to move up a lane or so. As Matt Busa tried to make the pass on Fife, didn't quite work that time. He clipped the line and got loose.
You can see right here, Fife running the middle in 3 and 4, and that's probably the easiest opportunity to move up. I mean, I've seen in various races these guys almost about a lane off the fence, so I think these guys will be moving up rather significantly, especially as the tires age. 1 and 2 is a little bit more difficult to move up. Right in the center of the corner, there's a really big bump there, and if you hit it the wrong way, it'll really throw off your corner exit. And I'll tell you, as hard of a corner exit as we do have here at Texas, you really cannot afford to screw that up, because you will hit that fence hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't afford to get out of the groove once it moves up, and looks like everybody's singled out for the most part here, Corey, and the 14 machine looking up front, he hasn't fallen off too much.
Now, there's some, I don't know if it's a physics thing, I don't know if it's just a learning thing, but I've seen on iRacing that there is almost a condition sometimes where it's almost better to be the second place car. It makes the handling better. You can kind of, I don't know, sometimes the car handles better running in second. Doesn't make much sense for what we know with aero push and stuff, but I almost feel like maybe that's the case right now, because de Blasio was really fast when he was behind the 14. Now the 14's behind de Blasio, and well, he's hanging right with him with no problem.
Yeah, you may very well be right. I'm noticing a line difference in these two as well, Corey, as the 14 machine drives it way up the racetrack there, and he may have a run coming on exit.
Yes, he will, and that's going to be something that that 48 is going to have to take very close eye on. But I do know that when the groove does move up, a lot of times it will wear the tires out more. You are putting more load on the tires with that increased speed that you are carrying. So sometimes it will kind of, the positive you get out of it may not equal out the negative, but that 14, whatever the negative is, right now it's not showing. Because look at those monster runs off corner number 4.
Monster runs indeed. Now he's going to look at the low side of that 48 machine.
And I'll tell you, that is not something that we've seen many times this season, as a driver passing de Blasio under green flag conditions. To remember, that 14, he's on the same set of tires, so that is not a tire advantage. That is a pure speed pass that 14 made.
Look at how high on the racetrack he's entering the corner, kind of diamonding it off to about the second groove, but man, oh man, and he just got a huge run on corner exit.
Now, let's see, in 1 and 2, he doesn't have that same kind of confidence to run that line. He's right there against the yellow, rather the white line. Evan would yell at me if I got that color of the line wrong. But we're down the back straightaway. We're heading to 3, and this is where we can see the difference. He's running, see, almost up to the 3rd groove, and then he's going to cut it down on the exit of the corner. And maybe that time didn't gain as much, but it definitely worked about for those 2 or 3 laps. And now de Blasio is going to have to try to repass him if he has the ability to do so.
Now with these tires, Corey, what's it going to do to how guys are going to have to get around one another in this race?
Well, you're going to have the 14. As long as that 14 can play defense up there, de Blasio's job is going to be rather hard, because de Blasio is going to start getting tight. He's going to start getting loose. That car is just going to be sliding all around. So he's going to have a lot harder of a time holding it down there and pinching it on the bottom. But the 14 will probably start getting tight on that higher line. So it's just a matter of, is the 14 going to get too tight and slow up and go a little too slow or too high? Or is the 14, rather is the 48, I always want to call it 24, is the 48 going to, actually, what is he going to do? He's going to change lines in 3 and 4. Well, that'll change everything.
He's going to see if he can get the run off the high side, not as significant as the 14 machine, but he's going to have a run down low entering the corner number 1. See if he can do it. I think the 14 machine may have gotten a little bit tight there on corner exit.
Yeah, but he got enough of a run to hang on side by side, and I think this is where the ideal groove may actually be, on that upper groove right now. He's all the way up there pushing that 3rd groove, and if he can hold even the quarter panel to him when he gets to corner exit, he's going to have that NOS jets go into full blast, and you can see he takes that and he's able to clear by a car length. And this is actually bringing in Matt Busa. Busa was 2.5 seconds back. He is now only 1.25 seconds back. Jacob Fife within 2 seconds, so I'm not sure if these guys battling has been slowing them down, or maybe Busa saving those tires a little bit better. And this may be a 3-car battle for the lead relatively shortly.
Price and de Blasio going to race it out up front. Busa starting to make his way up to the front of this thing now. He may be able to challenge for the lead here, Corey. These guys are going to keep racing it out and going to keep trying different lines up in the front.
Yes, they are, and I mean, it's only going to get more radical as time goes on. A little bit of a puff of smoke there in the entry of 3. Not sure what happened, but we are still under green flag conditions. Here comes the 48. Again, he's running the middle, and the 14 running almost the third groove there off corner number 4. You could see the 48 had a little bit of a run, but had to back off. He wasn't going to be able to make the exit of the corner. It has to fall back in line, and again, all the while, the 34 is closing in on these guys.
One thing to note, Corey, Caleb Eisenhower has taken that 51 machine behind the wall. He is done for the night. Yeah, we'll give it a quick, now that you mention it, that was something I wanted to do earlier, is how are our damaged playoff drivers doing, as we just got synopsis on the 25, who's going to be scored 25th
in tonight's race. William Dunn in the 14th spot. Remember, he had damage. Tom Wetmore is all the way back in 20th with that damage, and at this current pace, he's probably going to go a lap down, and everybody else is pretty much in the top 5, top 10 at the moment. So Phoenix is going to be even more stressful for a couple drivers next week, but a couple of these other drivers want to try to get their tickets punched in. A couple of non-playoff drivers want to come and just get wins tonight.
That 48 machine going to try to challenge down on the low side once again. Price just too strong in the high side at a corner number 4. De Blasio not able to do anything with it. But here comes the 34 machine of Busa, Corey. He's going to try to make his way up front, and he's going to try to stick his nose in this battle.
Yeah, well, where is he going to go? That's going to be the question. You can see Adam de Blasio is kind of doing everything he can do. So now what's Busa going to do? Look at these guys going almost all the way up to the Larson line, if my tongue couldn't function properly. So if the top becomes the preferred groove, well, we know how that works out from various tracks. If the top becomes preferred, the bottom almost becomes useless. So it's going to make passing much more difficult. And look at how high Busa is in 1 and 2.
Busa really confident in his race car, running up that high through 1 and 2, I think, out of these leaders.
Bump drafting de Blasio.
Wow, where is he gonna go? He's gonna try the high side up against that 48 machine. Down at a corner number 4 now. He's gonna move down low, nowhere to go. De Blasio tries to block side by side for the second position.
Yeah, Busa's gonna try that extreme high line. He's actually this time by a little bit more conservative right on that second lane, and he's going to cut down to the bottom as the 48, trying to do the exact same move to the 14, and here he comes. Is he going to try the high line again? Looks like he's going to stick the nose to the right. He's going to Larson it all the way up in that 4th groove. He really is trying to Larson it right now, and is that run going to correlate off of the exit of the corner? Answer is not enough, but he's still bump driving. He gets into
a 48 machine, a bump from the 34.
That's almost karma for the 48. Remember what happened to the 51, but de Blasio holds control of that vehicle. Amazing driving to save that machine. We'll go quickly back on replay. We saw it live, but again, just a little bit of aggressive bump drafting there. And
deja vu for Adam de Blasio, but he was on the receiving end of that time, Corey. The 34 machine of Busa gave him a bump through the quad oval, and around he went. Fantastic save from de Blasio.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, bump drafting at any track at any point is a difficult move, but especially doing it in the quad oval, just while you're turning, you can't do it. But there was a lead change. We'll try to catch that live on, well, we'll catch it live on replay. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll look at it on replay. Busa went to the inside of Stove Price in 1 and 2, and he was able to clear it with really no challenge back by the 14, and he does have sole possession of the lead, but that will bring de Blasio all the way back to 9th after that little move. And this, I mean, fortunately, if you're de Blasio, I mean, there's nothing behind it. There's no real consequence to it other than track position. Remember, he already is locked into Homestead.
That he is, but it's got to be frustrating even still, Corey. You know, you were up there battling for the lead, now you're back mid-pack.
Yeah, it's just, and as I was saying, just, I mean, look at this part of the track. There's so much, you're turning so significantly going through the quad oval here, so any kind of contact, I mean, there's not going to be any way to save it. I mean, you can bump draft on a straightaway because, I mean, there's not much input into it. Drivers can predict it, but there's a lot of load on those cars in the quad oval. So, I mean, that was just an amazing bit of driving, saving that machine. So
absolutely, Corey. And, well, the 14 machine bumped back to that second position now. New leader, 34, Matt Busa.
Yes, it is. Busa been with the peak driver and has sole possession of the lead. He did have a quite the drive tonight from the 18th position, and about 1/3 distance or so into the race, he is P1, running all the way at the top of the track in 3 and 4. So these guys really are, as I said, searching for that grip. As it's Don Stevenson in a battle right now with Michael Doolok. Remember, Stevenson stayed out on that caution, so he has 7 lap older tires than anybody else in the race right now. And
Oh boy, close call between the 88 and the 24 machines right there.
Yeah, 88 and the 24 indeed. Schetzler is one lap down. I do believe he has already pitted as he is speeding by all of these guys, so perhaps on an alternate strategy, which in prior races I have seen that out of Schetzler to try to get off strategy and see if he can make something happen. And well, we had a caution right around lap number 7, Brandon, that brought a lot of drivers down pit road, so we're about 45 laps into this race, and I know being the dirt side, being the dirt guy, you're not keen on the whole pit strategy perspective, but I'd have to imagine about 45 laps in this run. I think we can go maybe about 60 under a maximum fuel load. So pit stops, I mean, they really could be about any time right now.
That they could. The window, I believe, starting to open for these guys, Corey. But, you know, one thing that we have to keep in mind here, just seeing the racing that we have so far, is if these guys so do choose to go down pit road, what happens if there's a caution in the middle of these green flag pit stops?
Well, if there's a caution in the middle of green flag stops, essentially, I mean, to be blunt, you're screwed. You're going to lose the better part of a good lap and a half in your pit road excursion. It's about a 40-second time, including your pit stop on pit road. Obviously, we're doing about 30-second laps, so a little over a lap you will lose, and you might be the lucky guy and get the free pass, but yeah, you don't want to. It's a chance you take. Some drivers like pitting early and trying to get those fresher tires and taking advantage of those better lap times. Some drivers want to be the last one to pit, so it just really depends on individual situations, and we'll see who does indeed bring it down to pit road first, as we still do have a battle. That was Doolok and the 19 of Her, where Tyler Her spun around under a caution, and well, I think it wasn't quite necessarily to his, it wasn't his mistake, but he was spun around and he is doing his best to recover in that 9th position. So I think we can do it now while we have the opportunity. About 1/3 distance into this race, we'll give you a little bit of a through the field right now. On lap number 56, Doolok on Twitch 250, we have...
Yellow flag is in the air.
We will throw that
the
thought
42
away.
machine right in front of your leader.
And that, remember, playoff driver whose race started off horribly and went from bad to pretty much catastrophically worse. He just got loose off a 2 and one end of the speedway to the other down the back straightaway, hard into the backstretch wall with what will likely be terminal damage, and if not terminal, that machine is going to be crawling around this Texas Motor Speedway. So we are waiting for Matt Busa to collect behind the iRacing pace car, which looks to be in about turn number 3. There it is for the 3rd caution of the night. So
we were talking about green flag pit stops. That's out the window now, at least for this run. Matt Busa going to be the one leading the field down pit road now, and I don't expect anyone to stay out here unless it's to gather a bonus point.
Yeah, that would probably be about it. And Busa, I mean, I don't know how much it will affect anything, but he will have a pit stall all the way on the, well, closer to the turn 4 side of the pits, because he did have a 18th starting position, but he does have a little bit of a buffer on pit road behind him. Stove Price was behind the lap car, wasn't able to get right to the back bumper, and Busa had to back up. He missed his pit box, so will that cost him any amount of time? We'll have to find out. Adam de Blasio with a power drift into his pit stall, so there may be a chance of a new leader. Looks like Jay Heisman in the 06. He may be going for the point, or maybe he missed his stall, but well, it's going to be a drag race between Ward and Busa, and I think we will give it to Busa. So Busa will be the retainer of the lead, barring the 06 pitting, which we do expect him to do so. So we will break to a brief side-by-side break and be back with you for the restart. So please stay with us.
So hey, this is the new iRacing scanner, right?
Yep, this is our new scanner.
Wow. And this scans all your tracks and will scan everything else around it as well?
Yeah, you can even scan yourself with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, don't tell Tony that I asked, but how do you turn it on?
You just hit this button, scan right here.
Cool. And then that's just going to move around?
Yep. It'll just do a rotation, scan away.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's real cool.
Hey, Kevin, can you come to the office for a minute?
Yeah,
to show you something.
There.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars.
Welcome back, everybody, to PTRTV on LSRTV. Coming back to Doolok on Twitch 250 here from the Texas Motor Speedway, the Great American Speedway. These guys stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back green flag racing.
Yes, we are after the third caution of the night with drivers spinning around on the back straightaway. Tom Wetmore, which will permanently, well, not permanently, but put a significant marring on his race that he already had. But we are ready to go back. Green flag racing. Matt Busa was able to hold on to the lead at the end of that pit stop cycle. Nick Ward getting out P2, Stowe Price and Jacob Fife in row number 2. Pace car is in. We wait for Busa to get onto the loud pedal, and there he is. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again at Texas once again.
Matt Busa with a good start there. Good jump off of the restarts, and no challenge from behind quite yet. Stowe Price Jr. going to come away with that second position. Going to leave the 97 to the third.
Adam de Blasio is underneath at the moment of Jacob Fife, and here comes Sam Nieto. 3 playoff drivers racing door to door to door. We don't want to have any more issues. We've seen a lot of playoff drivers have issues tonight.
Something to point out real quick, Corey, the 37 machine got a black flag drive-through penalty for driving through too many pit stalls, but battle for the lead now. Here comes a 14 machine underneath Busa.
Stowe Price having an amazing run tonight. He's going to try to pass a peak driver. He's going to sail it off into corner number 3. Door to door they are. And can he clear him off corner number 4? The outside usually doesn't work very well on older tires, or rather on newer tires, I should say. So,
Corey, the 48 right to the back bumper to the 34.
He won't do anything.
You never know.
Adam de Blasio is not a pro driver to my knowledge, but he is one of the higher rated drivers on iRacing. So these are 2 of the best oval racers in the sim at the moment. And they are both on the outside lane, Nieto and Her having a very good recovery in the 6th spot right now, right to the inside. Or now he's behind Adam de Blasio. Is still door to door is Nieto and Busa. Busa stuck up on that high groove.
48 now looking underneath the 34. Busa dropping like a rock at the moment. Those fresh tires just really do not work on the high side of the racetrack. De Blasio gonna sail and pass the 34 machine now. Now the 19 gonna look down low.
19 down low, and that probably used a little bit of extra tire off of Busa that he did not want to use, having to run that high lane to try to stay up there and competitively. As here comes Her again. Her looks like he got a really good run through the center of the corner. He may actually clear him in one corner. He did do so. Just Brandon, once those tires are fresh, you want to be right down there on the inside of the track until you can get some slippy slidey into it, as they like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the saying that you always had, Corey?
What was the saying that I usually had?
For slippy slidey?
I don't know.
You don't even remember it.
Oh, swiggling, squiggling, all sorts of jiggling.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on a t-shirt. We never got that made, did we?
Hashtag soon.
Don Stevenson looking to gain some spots again. He's finally on a fresh set of tires compared to the rest of the field. He's to the inside right now of Renato Postiglio in the 69. Looks like he will clear for that position. And right now, the 18 machine of Cody Smith closing in on the back of Postiglio, as it looks like once again Don Stevenson trying to make a move on. Who is that? That's Michael Dool.
Yeah, Michael Dool on that 88 machine back there, and those guys going to be side by side off of corner number 4. The 88 looks like he'll prevail up on the high side.
Yes, he will. Dool will clear. Dool running in the 8th position in the 88. A lot of 8s up there, but we do have to go a little further up front where they are door to door. 48 and the 22 battling for the 3rd position.
Yeah, the 8th position getting a little bit rowdy, and the 47. Corey, one thing I'm noticing, the high side starting to go back in already.
Yeah, so as these the track is continuously heating up, they are able to go up there maybe a little bit earlier at this point in the race than they were the first run.
Absolutely. These guys also running pretty close to one another up here through around to the top 5. These guys in a freight train right now, single file, nose to tail, but not falling off of one another.
Yeah, maybe these drivers are starting to save some tires. Maybe they're just kind of cruising at the moment and waiting until a little bit later in the run when perhaps these drivers start to make a little bit more mistakes. But as you said, 1 to 5 is right on each other's bumper. A little bit of a gap back to Jacob Fife and Michael Dool. But I did miss something. What was it? What happened to Matt Busa?
Matt Busa in the 19 or the 34 machine rather. He's back in the 6th position at the moment.
Yeah, we missed something.
It was dropping like a rock, trying to get to the bottom, and he just couldn't get down. And by the time he finally did, he was way back there. So gonna have to maybe make his way up through the back once again, and maybe trying to save his stuff, Corey. But he's trying to run that very high side once again.
Yeah, maybe a little early in the run for that, but he's trying his best right now as we are battling up front. 48 does pass the 97 of Nick Ward. And that puts him into the 2nd spot, so he will set his sights on the number 14 machine of Stove Price.
Stove Price Jr. up there in that 14 machine right now, currently in the lead, but he may have company from that 48 machine soon, and soon to follow the 97. But I don't know, Corey, those guys are running nose to tail, and the 14's kind of pulling away.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to run his own pace right now, and has taken that to just maybe just saving his tires, maybe just kind of doing his own thing. We don't quite know. But we know that 48 did have a hard time passing him once he was out front earlier. So, see, 48 is running right on the white line. That 14 running up in the 3rd groove already, as we're 16 laps into this run right now, this stint. And here we are into 1 and 2. We'll see if the 48 is able to do anything.
It's seeming to work for Price, running that 2nd and a half to 3rd group up, Corey, and he's able to get the runs off the corners, but the 48 machine seems to have found something. Now he's going to run that 2nd group up.
Yeah, he is. He's not moving up as radically, but he is moving up just a little bit, and you can see he got a good run doing so. So we'll see if he's able to take that with him into corner number 1. Not quite, but he is right to the back bumper of Stove Price.
These guys going to be nose to tail now. The 48 machine going to try to look down low. Not going to be able to get the run down off of corner number 2. Heading down into 3 this time. The 14 of the 48 going to be nose to tail. Price going to run a little bit higher of a line. De Blasio going to try to dime in the corner. See if they can both get that run off. And pretty similar, but to give the advantage of the 14.
Now 14 is getting through 1 and 2. a little bit worse. In that 48, you could see just trying to close in, run to that bottom groove, and you can see the run he gets off of 2 down the back straightaway, but he just can't seem to match the 14 with that groove choice in 3 and 4. 48 will sail right down to the white line, actually moves up a little bit higher, but 14 running that extreme high line, and the momentum that you get off of the corner, well, that time the 48 was able to stay with him a little bit, but momentum for the 14 does carry along through and into turn 1.
Yep, so Price continues to lead this race, holding a pretty consistent gap. As I say that, de Blasio with a run off of corner number 2, heading down onto corner number 3 now. Maybe going to look down low, run a little bit lower of a line, but I think the 14 is going to have to run on exit.
Yes, he will. That's just standard physics. You have more, you're holding more speed up there. That gives you the better run, the longer distance around the speedway. It does give you that effect. The bottom is obviously the shorter distance around, but you pinch that car down, you can't hold that momentum. And obviously at this point, the 48 may indeed be faster, but he's just not able to do anything with it. He's taking a look to the inside. He keeps trying, but the 14 is going to have to make a mistake or maybe get slowed up if he gets tight at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Now de Blasio and the 48 machine, they're going to be side by side down at a corner number 1. De Blasio gives him the room, but right to the back bumper now.
Yes, he is, and Nick Ward not too far off, and Matt Busa starting to close in again. Remember, Busa dropped off quite significantly, but starting to get back into it, and Busa really running almost all the way against the fence. So we thought Stove Price was running a radical line, and we haven't seen anything yet.
These guys going to head down into corner number 1 once again. The 48 machine going to look down low. Can he maybe get the run this time off of corner number 2? Not quite going to get there.
Yeah, maybe he's going to have to chew what the 14's doing. Try to run up on that high groove. Try to get himself that run. And maybe that'll help him run the bottom on the next set of turns if he's able to get that run and hold more speed, maybe pull door to door, but he's just insistent on staying right on that white line, and maybe that's going to be better longer in the run. Sometimes it is to stay on that bottom groove a little bit longer, but definitely speed-wise, that 14 playing really good defense right now.
That he is, and just trying to hold off the 48 machine long enough for the tires to kind of get to the point where it makes it hard to pass, or even harder than what it already is to pass. And so far, so good.
Yeah, that time by really made good time up there. Did the number 14, pulled away by about 2 car lengths, and here comes Busa to the inside of Nick Ward, able to clear him very easily, make short work of him, and now he'll set his sights on the number 48. Remember what happened earlier on? Will he make as aggressive of a pass attempt? We'll have to find that out. Goes to the top of the track, and look at Adam de Blasio blocking the run, blocking the line of Busa, running the top at 3 and 4. Maybe he's decided to change his game up a little bit. Busa looks to the inside.
Where did that 34 come from? He was just back there in 6, but now looking for that second position down on the low side is Busa. Could he maybe get 2 and 1 now underneath the 14 machine?
Looks like he may be doing so. Is the 48 going to be able to get the run? He's to the inside of the 14 now. As you said, Brandon, going 2 for 1, sails it off into corner number 3. And, I mean, the 14, is he going to be able to maintain that high side? He cannot. I mean, I guess that's why he's a peak driver.
The 2 for 1 special for that 34 machine. Now de Blasio going to maybe look underneath the 14. And Price going to move up the racetrack. 48 goes down low.
Now, does the 48 have anything for Busa? Is that 14 holding de Blasio up? We don't know. De Blasio was not able to get by. Obviously, we saw that 34 get by as if he was standing still. But de Blasio is having a lot harder of a time, and here comes Nick Ward into the mix. Nick Ward looking to the outside. This might actually cost de Blasio a position.
I was just about to say, don't look now. Nick Ward almost made it 3 wide down off of corner number 4 that last time by. Didn't quite work that time, but he's going to run the very high line down to turns 1 and 2.
Yes, he is, and he's going to, here comes de Blasio again, looking to the inside, and hasn't worked yet, but he's going to continue trying, and he might have to try to sail it in a little bit harder. He might have to try that outside line a couple more times, see if he can do it better than perhaps Price is. But again, now Nick Ward in the 97 trying to take advantage to the outside of the speedway. Nearly 3 wide as Ward all the way to the fence.
Busa cruising along down there in the lead, but these guys racing hard back here for the second position, and Nick Ward wants a piece of the action now as well. He's going to look at the very high side once again, trying to get the run off.
Yeah, you can see Busa running the fence there. Everybody else trying to emulate it, but de Blasio staying right there on the white line, and they're just door to door. And if anything at this point, Brandon de Blasio running this much of the bottom, having to bog that car down, this is not going to be good for his right front tire, but he may actually be able to clear him this time.
I think he got enough of that apron there, Corey. Just enough of that white line where he was able to get the car to rotate on exit and drive off. Now those guys going to be side by side for the third position. Nick Ward trying to take it away.
Now Ward is starting to turn up the wick a little bit. Maybe he was a little bit better saving tires as we are 30 laps into this run, and I only bring that up because we had a caution right around 50 laps in, and we're at a point now where we have passed halfway, so about another 83 laps left to go approximately in this race. I know I'm wrong, actually about 79 laps to go if I could do mathematics, so I think it's going to be a matter of this race being about another one-stop race. I don't think 2 stops is going to work, so these guys probably have to go till at least about lap 115. And then I think at that point we may start seeing pit stops, but anything could happen in 25 laps, and the handling is only going to get that much worse.
That it is, Corey, and these guys starting to get pretty spread out now. Price and Ward still back there nose to tail, but that's about the best that they are at the moment. And Nick Ward, I think, maybe trying to stay back there, doesn't mind riding behind the 14 machine, and a little bit of a battle going on behind them between the 19 and 22.
Yeah, it's her and Nieto. Her looking to the inside, and all the while that's bringing Nieto, and it's bringing Don Stevenson trying to close in as well, as all this is right behind Fife, so about 3-4 cars battling for position. And I did try to do this on the first run before that caution came out, so I will try it one more time as we didn't get to do it. Let's give you on lap number 91 a through the field. Matt Busa leading this race by about just under 3/4 of a second. He's up front. Adam de Blasio running in the second spot. Stove Price Jr. running in third under hot pursuit from Nick Ward in the 4th spot. Jacob Fife in the 5th spot, Sam Nieto in 6th, then we have Tyler Herr in 7th, Don Stevenson in 8th, Renato Postigio in 9th, and Guillermo Alvarez rounding out your top 10.
In the 11th position so far is going to be Michael Doolok, 12th. Battle for 12th position going on between Cody Smith and William Dunn. In the 14th position is going to be Jay Heichman. Alan Rowell in the 15th position. 16th is going to be Jason Miller. 17th is the 76 of Randy Fayash. 18th is going to be Kent Wetherill. Christopher Schetzler, he was up towards the front earlier, but now running in the 19th position. And running out top 20 is Alan
Pahari.
Yeah.
And then the only other driver on track is Marco Tomasini in 21st, Tom Wetmore, Mark Robertson, Lee Pierce, and Caleb Eisenhower all behind the wall here tonight. So again, up front, Matt Busa leading by about 3/4 of a second over Adam de Blasio, and the lap tracker is showing, at least the last time by, Adam was about a 1/2 of a tenth faster, so we'll see if that trend does continue.
So, things pretty spread out now, Corey, and what do you think about pit stops, maybe?
As I said, I think maybe at about 15 to 20 laps. I mean, I wouldn't want to pit any later, or I wouldn't want to have any longer of a 55-lap run to the end, just for the safety of a fuel run. So, given that, I think these guys still do have to run about another 15 to 20 laps, as Busa loose off of 2.
Oh,
just
boy.
touches the fence, but should be okay.
Should be okay, but man, oh man. Loosey-goosey, slippy-slidey is Matt Busa in the 34 machine. Allows the 48 machine at de Blasio to catch up. I don't know, Corey. The handling on these race cars starting to get really ill.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit too much throttle off of 2, or maybe a little bit too much wheel input, but however you want to spin it, de Blasio has pulled into it about 0.3 of a second. And again, de Blasio just really insistent on running that inside lane. Kind of reminds me of a Kevin Harvick, where Harvick just not ever one to really want to get off the bottom of the racetrack, as he does try to close in, but the battle's still going on, and it's actually really tightened up for about the 4th position on back.
Yeah, absolutely. Back here, Price falling like a rock now. Under pressure from the 22 machine and the 36 machine. He's going to try to defend that. Nick Ward falling back also.
Yeah, Ward, remember, he had quite the run to start, but may have overexerted the tires, as Jacob Fife is, I think maybe this is his time to shine, and trying to pick these spots off is by Nieto and starting to close in onto the back bumper of the 14 of Stove Price, who I think he used everything he had up trying to hold off on those guys up front. Now it's starting to kind of bite him in the butt here at this point. C97 is the only driver on that high line in 3 and 4, and using it to his advantage. Does manage to pull away, but it does look like up front, Brandon, that I think the 48 is definitely closing in on that 34.
Yeah, I think that Moose's car is just handling so ill right now, Corey. It's allowing the 48 machine at de Blasio to slowly reel him in. And we'll look at the difference in lines also. De Blasio still running right up against that white line.
Yeah, just I don't think the groove, I mean, we do have not a small field, but we have about 21-ish drivers on the track. Maybe not enough to rubber in the track to the level of maybe at NIS or even the peak race, but still obviously the upper groove is starting to come in. The 34 definitely testing it out. You can see already just how much darker the outside has gotten. Not quite as dark as the bottom, but you could definitely see the rubber going down all over the track as the 48 has gotten right to the back bumper.
Adam de Blasio in that 48 machine now right up to the back bumper to 34 of Busa. Let's see what'll happen here. Busa now going back to that low line. The 48 machine to try to get the run off. I'd say fairly even down off of corner number 2.
Yes, it is. And is de Blasio going to change his line? Oh, he'll change it up just a little bit. He's not going up to the fence, but he's going up to about the middle of the track. And here comes Busa with a pit stop. And really loose.
Oh, man, oh, man.
Getting everything he can get, and I think he may have gotten too much.
I don't know, Corey. That's going to be close.
Well, we'll follow that stop in, and if that left side jack drops and that car stays in the stall, then you know he got a 15-second penalty from the iRacing race control.
At the line, he was 55 miles an hour and got it slowed down just after.
Well, there you go. Look at that. He got it going. He got every last possible thousandth of a second you could possibly gain on that entry to pit road, but surprisingly, at least for me anyways, Adam de Blasio stays onto the racetrack. So this is a point, 64 laps to go. If he goes, as I said, about another 10 laps, it's definitely a one-stop race. I don't know, 64 laps, that's going to be a stretch if Busa is trying to do it on one stop. If he's trying to do it on 2 stops, well, we haven't seen that strategy hold its, well, we haven't seen it play out at all tonight. No one's really tried it, so we will try to keep an eye on if anybody up front is going to be drawn to pit road, at least in these next coming laps. But I mean, I know 63 laps, 64 laps, that just seems like a really long time.
One thing to point out, the 14 machine of Stove Price Jr. also came down pit road, Corey.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I haven't run a long enough race in this car this week to know the exact fuel mileage, but just based on what I do know from just general experience, it just seems like a really long run. And again, I haven't seen anybody do the 2-stop race to maybe try to split it into 35 lap runs or so and try to get those fresh tires and try to just go full blast both sides of the stint. So if these guys are trying to do this on this one stop from this point in the race, then they are going to most likely, as our fans in chat seem to have to agree, they're going to have to start saving some fuel.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with it as well. You know, it's going to get interesting.
De Blasio at this point, he isn't going to be considering a 2-stop race. He's going to be doing it on the 1-stopper. He's at that point now as we're taking lap 60. He's on 50 laps in his run right now. As we'll pull up the graphic for the fans at home, you can see the drivers running about 49, 48 laps. That is how long they have been up on the racetrack right now. And you figure with 60 to go, stretch it out maybe to another 5 or 6 laps, and then you're at about a 55 lap run to the end. You should be pretty well sure that you'll be in the fuel load right there. You won't have to worry about it. But again, you can see Matt Busa. He is the next car in the rear view mirror of de Blasio, and he will be zooming around him any moment now on those fresher tires, trying to get his lap back. And we can tell you that last time by, Busa ran 29.526, and Adam de Blasio, albeit in a little bit of traffic, a 31.18, so almost about 1.6 seconds faster was that number 34 machine.
I'll tell you, Corey, de Blasio has had some pretty close calls getting passed by this traffic here. He was just in a 3-wide situation off the exit of corner number 4 right there, and I don't know how those guys held it.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, this league, a lot of skilled drivers in this league, and obviously putting those skills to the test. But Brandon, I know we've covered some of them well back in the day, even you with us as well. I know it's been me and Evan quite a lot lately, but you know what this race is going to turn into? It's going to turn into a classic game of tortoise and the hare. And what I mean by that is Matt Busa, he's out there turning these quick laps on these fresh tires, but on the assumption that he is going to try to make this on one race, he's going to be backing the pace down. And when Adam de Blasio does pit, he's going to have much fresher tires, be turning much faster laps, and he's going to have to try to chase him down.
Corey, I hate to drop the hard Y, but could we see another yellow?
Well, we could. The question is, will we? And as we scan around this Texas Motor Speedway right now and try to see what everything is going on, there's not much indication right now. There's not much on the track that is going to insinuate that we're going to have any kind of contact-based caution. We may have a driver maybe get a little bit loose, maybe spin out, and maybe that'll trigger the flag man to bring out that yellow. But I just really don't see any kind of wrecks happening in the normal sense. Well, as I say that, let's go off corner number 2 and look at Tyler Herr, who is in an absolute wad right now. Jacob Fife, Alan Pahari, who is trying to get by on fresher tires, I do believe. Don Stevenson, it's 4th position, 4th, 5th, and 6th right now.
Yeah, these guys starting to get racy once again. Confidence of fresh tires is an amazing thing, Corey.
As Don Stevenson comes to pit road.
That they are. The battle for the 4th position is on at the moment. Jacob Fife in the 36 machine, Tyler Herr in the 19 machine. Looks like that'll settle out now. Fife gonna pull away.
Fife definitely having the run he needs. He will be gaining some points, gaining a lot of positions and points over the cutoff spot, which will make his life at Phoenix a lot easier next week, a lot less stressful. With a nice 4th place run, he just needs to hold a solid top 5, even a top 10 run should help him out immensely for his efforts next week, as just ahead of that. You can see drivers going almost 2-3 wide into corner number 3. These guys, again, trying to get everything they can out of these fresh tires. As Stove Price, he has pitted and just trying to get some relation right now. Off of corner number 2 is Stove Price right now. Into corner number 3 is Matt Busa. Those are the first 2 drivers on fresh tires. Stove Price literally is the entire back straightaway behind him at the moment as San Diego and Jacob Fife on the pit road.
That they do, and those 2 drivers are going to send off to fresh tires, and Adam de Blasio in his own little world right now, and he's just kind of cruising along, Corey.
Nick Ward on the pit road. Nick Ward smoked the tires, though. I don't know what his speed was, but he was smoking the tires on the entry to pit lane, and we just wait for Tyler Hurd, Guillermo Alvarez, and of course your leader Adam de Blasio, as we're going to be taking 50 laps to go. And here it comes.
Here comes the 48 machine.
And it looks like his pit road entry was a lot smoother than most drivers we have seen, especially Busa. So maybe a little bit of time saved, a little bit of time cost by not hustling it in there, but better safe than sorry. We'll see if he gets nice and smoothly into his pit stall, which he does do. William Dunn exiting his pit stall. So the interesting thing is going to be, how does this shake out? Where does he shuffle out? And is there enough time? I thought he was very delayed there in his stall. Thought he might have had an issue, but is he going to have enough time to erase that gap? Is Matt Busa going to have a nice clean run? Remember, de Blasio has to keep it right on the apron. The iRacing blend line, denoted by the blue cone there off corner number 2. There it is. Now he's safe to merge back onto the racetrack. And well, let's see. He is entering corner number 3. Matt Busa is exiting corner number 2, so nearly a whole lap that he has to gain. But remember, he has significantly fresher tires, 16 lap fresher tires.
Oh, now I feel right back at home with the Integrity Racing League, Corey. The games I've seen so many times before in this league and have been able to be pulled off by de Blasio himself. I feel right at home.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And again, we still have no idea if Busa has enough fuel to do this. Right now, I mean, we're going to use a little bit of a reference right now. Jay Heisman, he's on the track for 60 laps right now, and he is really, really, really slow as he enters the pits. I'm not sure if that car is under power. I mean, this was 60 laps for him right now on the pit road, and I'm not sure if he was out. He was very slow in 3 and 4, but Busa is going for much longer than 60 laps right now. So again, I don't think Busa could afford to pit. I don't think that's going to be a viable option. He's going to have to stay out if it's going to work. And right now, the gap is 19 seconds between de Blasio and Busa. But the stopwatch right now, it was a 30.59 versus a 29.2, so 1.3 seconds faster for de Blasio. I'm pretty sure that this is going to work out for him.
Yep, we'll have to see what it boils down to in the end, though. Busa going to have to go full send, but not on the racetrack. He's going to have to go full send on fuel save, and well, we're going to see what happens.
And I'll tell you, Stove Price Jr. does have 1 lap in the tank compared to Busa. He did pit 1 lap later, so I mean, for whatever that does help out, he does have that going for him. But he also has a much smaller gap over de Blasio, only one of about 10 seconds. And then we will go a little bit further back, and you'll see Don Stevenson. He just got passed by de Blasio. Stevenson pitted a little bit earlier, so really the battle for the win is going to be between the 48 and the 34. And if Busa has the fuel and if de Blasio has the time, I do think he does. But again, that's how it plays out. And of course, we never know if a caution's going to come out.
Absolutely. And the 34 machine at pit road.
So all of that fuel saving, throw it out the window. Boos is going for a 2-stopper. And I am not quite sure about this, but I think he has a better chance of making this work. Just overshot his stall.
He missed his box a little bit too.
I think he has a little bit more work to do, and he's going to have a better chance via this strategy, but I still think it's a tough call. 2 tires, and he's gone. Well, I mean,
Matt Busa is...
We'll call that the old peak rage quit that I've never really happened.
I've never seen that before.
Well, yeah, it's not really. It's the good old peak. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that. Well, Adam de Blasio in the lead, so forget everything that we just said the last 10 or 15 minutes, folks.
Erase drama, erase drama, erase drama.
Yeah, Adam de Blasio. How about Adam de Blasio with that 48 machine,
well,
folks?
how about Stowe Price? Because he's still winning this race right now. He's still, I mean, he is still going to be quite detrimented in the fuel cell, but he is ahead of this race by 6 seconds right now over Adam de Blasio. And as we now reassess and recalibrate how this race is going to play out, we go into the mirror, and Adam de Blasio up by about 2 1/3 seconds over Don Stevenson, and there's really nobody in the immediate rear view of Adam that is going to be on a similar strategy or have any kind of pace compared to him. So, and there goes Stowe Price onto pit lane, so 40 laps to go. We may be turning into, not the Michael Doolok on Twitch 250, this may be turning into the Adam de Blasio 14th win special, but we're going to step away for a final side-by-side break and cover the end of the race, so again, please stay with us.
There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere else. I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run, you know, about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and, you know, put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to complete the pass. He'll follow Shane Stewart down the back straightaway. Stewart makes the move to the inside of Craig Kinsler. Kyle Larson goes around the outside out of turn 4. You've got a new race leader. Kyle Larson from 9th leads on lap number 23.
I'm probably just a little more relaxed, I guess, at the dirt track just because it's for fun, where the NASCAR stuff, you know, it's points racing and a lot bigger sponsors and stuff you have to please and all that. You're there for 3 days a week, so your approach is a little bit different there, where sprint cars, you're there for 5 or 6 hours and moving on to the next racetrack. So I've been on iRacing, I think, since 2009 or 10. Yeah, I remember, starting out, I mean, as a rookie on there, you know, in the Legends and the late models and stuff like that. And that was fun to, you know, have to try and get your licenses up and stuff. But it's amazing to me how, now that I get to race on a lot of the tracks that are on there, how to the T, similar because of the laser scanning and stuff like that. So all the bumps and, you know, all the visual aspects of it are very good. So when I first got to like K&N and then the Nationwide Series at the time, I would race iRacing all the time to, you know, learn as much as I could about the racetrack before I went to the actual racetrack to race. So.
And we're back here, PTRTV on LSRTV. It is the Integrity Racing League. It is the Doolok on Twitch 250 race sponsored by league driver Michael Doolok. You can check out his stream on Twitch. And again, we are here at Texas Motor Speedway, where we had a unexpected change of events. One of the top drivers in the race took it to pit lane unexpectedly and parked it behind the wall, which gives us Adam de Blasio a lead of about 3 3/4 of a second. So now that we presume to be final pit stops are completed, we'll give you another through the field rundown here on lap number 133. Adam de Blasio led 43 laps. Remember, he already is locked into Homestead. He is winning this race right now. Nick Ward, good run and the second spot. Sammy Nieto in third. Don Stevenson in fourth, and Jacob Fife running in fifth. Renato Postigio in sixth. Tyler Herr in seventh. Guillermo Alvarez in eighth. Jason Miller in ninth, and Cody Smith in 10th.
Currently in the 11th position is William Dunn. In 12th is Jay Heichman. 13th rather, is Alan Rowell. Stove Price Jr. in 14th. 15th, one lap down, the first car 1 lap down, is Christopher Schultzler. Michael Duo in 16th. 17th is Ken Weatherum. 18th is Marco
Tomasini.
Yeah. And 19th is Alan
Pahari.
I'm learning these names, okay? And Randy Vayash rounding out the top 20.
And then behind the wall is Matt Busa with that surprising exit of the race there on that pit stop in 21st. Tom Wetmore 22nd. Mark Robertson 23rd. Lee Pierce 24th. Caleb Eisenhower in 25th. And again, so that is the through the field right now, and kind of a quick summary of our playoff drivers. Adam de Blasio obviously is the lock into Homestead right now. You can see by the green flag next to his name. He is leading. Jacob Fife second in points. He is running in the 5th position right now. Don Stevenson is third in the points right now, just ahead of Fife. That may be a change of position. Looks like they are battling as we speak. And then Sam Nieto is actually right ahead of them a couple seconds in the 3rd spot.
So,
Caleb Eisenhower, who, remember, out of this race after almost 1 lap. Well, very early in the race, rather, he had issues spinning out and parked it 100 laps down. He's going to be almost shotgun 25th in the race. William Dunn, remember, he is 6th in points. He was only 3 points out. He's salvaged tonight pretty well. He had some issues, got involved in something out of his control. He's running in 10th, so he salvaged that rather well. But Tom Wetmore involved in a couple incidents, and well, Eric de Blasio, in all honesty, I don't even think he's actually in this race tonight. So for the playoff hunt, it's going to take something rather drastic, Brandon, next week at ISM Raceway, because it seems like the guys who needed the good runs are the ones that did not have it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. And, well, it's been an interesting race so far, and it's going to shake up the playoffs going into Phoenix for sure.
Yes, it is. So there, I mean, if all stays as is according to plan right now, there won't be any other drivers locked in via the win and in unless something radical happens. But we are closing in on 27 laps to go, and a caution could have happened. Well, it could still happen. It's not likely, but a caution could still happen. Get everybody back on 4 fresh tires and let them race at it, but thus far hasn't happened. So again, everyone just at this point running rather spread out, running in their own little worlds now and driving with respect. And when this happens, these races go green, and we do have, looks like going to be a battle. It is Renato Postigio and Guillermo Alvarez 7th and 8th right now.
That they are, and having pretty good battle. Look at the lanes running the Larson line up there is that 83 of Alvarez.
Yeah, even off corner number 2. We haven't seen that line run off 2 very often. But definitely in 3 and 4 we've seen it. And there he goes all the way to the top of the speedway is Alvarez. And he gets that run. And look at him just sail through the center of the corner, even gets the run and off of exit.
Alvarez going to manage to gain that 7th position.
Tyler Herr right now does have the freshest tires of anybody in the top 10 at the moment. He has been on the racetrack for 23 laps. Everybody else is about 25, 26, 27, even up to 30 laps for Don Stevenson. But thing for Tyler Herr right now, who has had a rather eventful race, had a significant bit of driving he had to do to keep that thing out of the wall due to a little bit of a spin earlier. He's going to gain this 5th position from Don Stevenson. He's going to have to go, what is it, about 3 3.75 seconds to get to that number 47. So he's kind of in his own bubble right now. He's 2.2 seconds ahead and then 3.25 seconds behind. So it's, Brandon, what's it like as a driver being in that kind of bubble where you're literally almost time trialing it? You don't have any immediate competition on either side of you.
Well, it's, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those deals. You kind of run your own line, do your own thing, and just wait for the finish of the race, I guess. I mean,
you just wait for something to happen that may not necessarily happen. You hope that it does, but I mean, at this point, it's just don't screw up what you do have going for you. He is very, very slowly closing in on Don Stevenson. I don't think it's going to be enough to amount to anything, but a battle that may actually occur is the 36 and the 22. They are on even tires. They are separated by about half a second, so this is actually closest battle on track right now. We'll see if indeed one is pulling away from the other. Last time by, Fife was faster than Nieto. We'll see if that carries suit this time by. Nieto actually had him by a few tenths of a second, a few hundredths of a second rather. But again, up front, just as a little bit of information, the gap was about 3 seconds or so when we went to commercial break. We came back, and we are back now, and just about pushing 6 seconds de Blasio has on the field right now.
Yep, so de Blasio out to a strong lead at the moment, and
not a weak lead.
No, strong lead. He's driving into next week right now. And,
didn't I tell you he was going to do that?
Yeah, he's on the road to Phoenix already. And
it's going to be about a trip halfway across the country. Let's trek the southern United States into Phoenix, and we didn't cover Phoenix for these guys last time by or in the season. They were on a different channel before we took coverage of them, but as I quickly go back and find my information out, well, Brandon, if you had to guess any driver in this race that could have won Phoenix, who do you think it'd be? Just take a random guess.
It would be the 48 machine, wouldn't it, Corey?
Well, I mean, I would have put some money on that bet. Yes, Adam de Blasio did win Phoenix, although not by a significant margin, and nor did he lead the most laps. But he did win Phoenix earlier in the season. But always the best part of these championship battles, Braden, is Homestead Miami Speedway, a track that we only run once a year. So it's not really a track that many drivers get to run over and over and over. And obviously being a different shape and different bank and configuration and everything, I mean, while it still is 1.5 miles, it is completely different than a Texas, an Atlanta, a Charlotte. So it a lot of times does put on a better race, and sometimes different drivers get to shine, and given the championship format, that could maybe give de Blasio a little bit more competition for that championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, the playoffs, Corey, comes down to just 4 drivers at the end of this thing, so you know, things get interesting going into the last race.
Homestead Miami Speedway, I mean, it's just, I mean, if it couldn't be a short track, I mean, I don't think they could, NASCAR, or I don't think they could have picked a better racetrack for that race. I mean, it's multi-groove. It just offers everything. It offers a slick surface. It offers racing top to bottom. It offers close racing. It offers night racing. It really is an absolute perfect race. I mean, can't say I wish, I mean, championship for Martinsville. I mean, somebody do that in the future. But if it couldn't be at Martinsville, I think Homestead's a pretty damn good second choice.
I'll second that one.
Oh my God, can you imagine a championship race in Martinsville?
That'd be absolutely crazy.
If you wanted to get a sellout for one race in a NASCAR season, I'm pretty sure that'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Corey Silva for NASCAR Vice President? No? Now let's not go there. Let's not
How much
go
you gonna
there.
pay me?
Corey Silva was president of NASCAR. I would literally just switch this. I would just revert back to 1999, and then we would just call it a day and add safety features. But that's a story for a different day. Get the Truck Series back on to short tracks, Evergreen Speedway, Louisville Speedway, all these random places nobody's ever heard of. But that's where the truck should be being. Let the campaign start here. 2020 is right around the corner. 2020 is right around the corner.
Corey, did you say should be being?
Should be being. They should be being there. It may not be proper English, but you knew what I meant. That's all that matters. But we do have that battle. We were talking about Fife and Nieto, and Nieto, big wiggle off of 4, has brought Fife back into the mix. You can see the different lines on play right now. The 36 running that second lane, trying to cut to the bottom, as we've seen many drivers do successfully tonight. And he's going to try to get that run down the back straightaway. The gap about 1/4 of a second. This again is for 3rd position. Both of these drivers choosing to run at the bottom in 3 and 4.
That they are, and seems to be the preferred groove right now, Corey, is that bottom line.
Yeah, not what we originally expected, not what we've seen thus far. We are pretty far into this run, so I would have thought these guys would have moved up the track per what we have seen through the course of this entire race, but perhaps it's just not in their style. Maybe the cars are not handling well up there at the moment. And well, something else we do see is sometimes, Brendan, you know, when an alternate groove that is grippier earlier in the race, sometimes the groove goes away back to where it started because that top may have rubbered in enough that it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really does have something to do between the rubber buildup at the top of the track.
24 sideways down the back straightaway. Will it throw out a caution?
Christopher Schutz.
He's very slow, but
Schetzler not going to bring out a caution. Good job to him getting that machine back up and going.
We're on instant replay right now, and you can see he's running in that 2nd, 3rd groove-ish off of corner number 2, and he just dead lost it by himself. Good avoidance by a couple drivers to get around him, but slow, almost spin does manage to save it. The caution does not come out, which guarantee there's 19 other drivers on track that would have loved that yellow flag. Only driver who did not want it is the one leading, and de Blasio. It was about 5.6 seconds. It is now pushing 7.5 seconds.
So de Blasio pulling away from the field right now, and 48 machine. He's on a roll.
48 is a. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. I had a corny pun. I held off.
Corey and his corny puns. What's new? Welcome to PTRTV.
Adam de Blasio.
Caution on the speedway.
Stole
back straightaway. That's the 14 machine.
Remember, the phenomenal run led 41 laps earlier in this race.
No way.
But the 14 is going to take that phenomenal run and end it on a flatbed back to the shop. You see, he just got loose off of 2. And
all by himself, hard impact into that inside wall.
When an entire race boils down to most likely a 3-lap shootout.
Wow.
Now, you have to pit. This is 40 some odd laps on this run. You have to pit. And luckily for de Blasio, he has 2 lap cars in between him and Ward, so he'll have probably a good 2-second buffer at the very least, just entering the pits, let alone. I mean, does anybody try anything? I cannot fathom anything right now, any kind of strategy. But remember,
Corey, I can only say this could change everything.
Well, remember, all it takes is what I like to call the insta caution, which it takes a little bit of wheel spin on a restart. Just someone gets into somebody else, they wreck right off the bat, it throws out an immediate yellow. And if you're that guy who got off to a decent enough restart, you may win the race and not have any kind of recourse from it. But we do see 4 tires going up from every driver, which, I mean, again, not unexpected at all. The 48, did he hold the lead exiting the pits?
I don't know. I don't think so, Corey.
I'm not good on the instant replay, but I'm gonna try it right now. Try the slow motion here, because try to be fancy for once in my life.
Adam de Blasio.
No, he didn't.
P2.
He had the power, the Tokyo drift out of the pit stall there, as I failed at the slow motion, which is kind of what I expected to. But he did lose the race off of pit road. That'll put him on the outside groove. That will not give him the chance to go as he chooses. And we know, Brandon, that outside groove hasn't worked on short runs on fresh tires. And we know a lot of these drivers have been fast enough on short runs to make a move and play. Remember, we have Sam Nieto, we have Jacob Fife, both of those drivers. They could use that win to Homestead. And anything, literally anything can happen right now. So, we might as well say it now, Brandon, take your pick.
Why are you having me go first?
Because you're the special guest, even though you're partial owner of the channel, because you're never here.
Well, I'm gonna be different. And,
well, we already do that.
You shush. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go with Nick Ward.
And, well, you know me and my manufacturer bias. But I'm going to go against my bias, and I'm going to go with the 22.
So neither one of us chose Adam de Blasio.
I really don't think he's going to be able to get going on that outside line. I don't think he's going to be able to get going. We're not going to have many laps to go. I think we're going to end up having 4 to go. Are these yes, they are. These lights are out. These guys are waving around. So we're going to have 4 laps to go. Unless he can stay side by side into 1, I don't think he can do it. And if that 22 can stay close enough to the 97, they may be able to shut him out and get him stuck on the outside.
Well, that is a very good theory. But if de Blasio is able to get back to the inside behind Ward, we could have a race.
That is very true. It all depends on this final restart of the night. Remember, an instant caution will end it. This will be the final restart of the night. Remember, all that is on the line now. Adam de Blasio going for the win just because, well, he likes to win. And in the second row, both of those drivers want the free pass to Homestead. Nick Ward, he just wants to have as good of a run as he can have just because, well, of course, you want to win the race if you can, part-time or not. So let's see what happens through 3 and 4 behind the pace car for the final time tonight. What kind of start will Nick Ward get? Can de Blasio stay with him? Pace car is in. An early start in the box for the 97. Can Nieto get to the inside of the 48 and make him fight for it? He will not. De Blasio will get back to the inside. Can he do it?
Down through turns 1 and 2. Now the 48 machine right to the back bumper of 97. Down at a corner number 2. Heading down the back straightaway. Here comes the 48 machine. Can he get the run going down into corner number 3?
Nick Ward needs to run 3 qualifying laps. That's exactly what he needs to do. Play good defense, block the bottom. There's a very good chance it will be his. Sam Nieto, you need to stay close enough to try to take advantage of anything that can happen as there's 3 laps to go. And Ward is looking pretty good right now.
No mercy now. Give it all you've got, boys. Now down at a corner number 2. Nick Ward still holding the lead over de Blasio. Maybe pulling away just a little bit. Heading down at a corner number 3.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to take a mistake from the 97 because right now he's running exactly what he needs to do. He's running hot fast laps. He's staying right on the inside. He's holding a relatively steady gap as we have 3 miles, 2 more laps around Texas. And look at de Blasio. He is starting to itch. He got a little bit better run through 1 and 2.
Caution on the speedway. Your winner is going to be the 97 of Nick Ward.
And that was Cody Smith, who was sideways in the front straightaway grass there. See, he was up by the wall, just running by himself, and he, let's see what happened to him. He got loose in the tri-oval, the quad oval by himself. Not sure how, it might have had some damage assisting that spin, but regardless of such, that is the white flag. And if you're Nick Ward, I mean, you kind of stole one here, but if you're Adam de Blasio, you gave one away. But, I mean, that's just how racing plays out. De Blasio had the race lined up, 7.5-second lead. We have that last-minute caution. De Blasio did not get the pit stop he needed, and Nick Ward was able to exit the pits ahead of him. He was able to run about 3 qualifying laps, did exactly what he needed to do. Caution ended the race abruptly, so at about 50 to actually about 65 miles an hour it actually is, they will exit corner number 4, and that iRacing pace car will take the checkered flag first, but the winner of the race will be the 97 Nick Ward. Wins here at Texas. Adam de Blasio with the second, and Sam Nieto will finish in third. A very interesting shake-up of events here tonight at Texas for the Integrity Racing League here in the Doolok on Twitch 250. So as everyone is able to score themselves and complete the race, we'll let these guys finish up, but looks like everything should be good now. So let's give you the final rundown here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. As we just saw with the victory here tonight, leading a measly 7 laps, but just enough. Nick Ward able to get the victory tonight, leading 71. Adam de Blasio will have to settle for a second. Sam Nieto in third, Jacob Fife in fourth, Don Stevenson in fifth. Then we have Guillermo Alvarez, Tyler Herr, William Dunn, Renato Postillo, and Jason Miller rounding out your top 10. And 11th is Jay Heisman, and 12th is Michael Duell. Christopher Schetzler running in 13th spot here tonight. Kent Wetherill in 14th, Marco Tomasini in 15th, Cody Smith in 16th, and Alan Pahari in 17th. Randy Fayash, Stove Price Jr., and Alan Roll rounding out your top 20. And then rounding out your field tonight, Matt Busa. Remember, he was up there, and he took it behind the wall on a pit stop cycle, finished 21st. Playoff driver Tom Wetmore all the way back at 22nd. Mark Robertson 23rd. Lee Pierce 24th. And a 25th shotgun on the field tonight was Caleb Eisenhower. A horrible run. He will need a really good run at Texas next week. But we are going to be waiting for these drivers to head into the booth and have a quick word with us. So stay tuned after a brief break, and we'll be back with you for the post-race show. So again, please stay with us.
So I enjoy going on there. Actually, I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot, so it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition on iRacing is better than real life. I mean, you've got thousands of drivers on there that, a lot of them are probably better than the people you see on TV. They just haven't had the opportunities to make it, but can kick butt on there, and you can spend all day long running thousands of laps a day, so you can get yourself really good at it. So competition level is just unbelievable really on there. I mean, everybody's been asking for dirt on there for forever. So when they announced it, I got really, really excited. And honestly, it's blown my expectations away. The cars, to me, drive really good when the track's hooked up. The visual part of the racetrack changing is amazing. How you can run some laps and see it start to get shiny, and then you feel it getting slick. Areas of the racetrack getting dirty, and then you get some cars run through there and it cleans off and gets grip back. It's nuts. The tear-off feature is really cool. Watching the wing move backwards and forwards. I run with the virtual reality headset too, so being able to look down and see everything, it looks extremely realistic. So yeah, it blew my expectations away. and it's only going to get better, really.
And we're back here at PTRTV on LSRTV after a hectic ending to the Doolok on Twitch 250 for the Integrity Racing League. Tonight here at Texas, we are going to start the post-race show. And Brandon Kreutz has caught up with your third place finisher here tonight of Sam Nieto.
So, Sam, you come home in the third position, man. How you feeling after smelling? And how did your race car feel through the runs here?
I'm pretty tired after this race. It was a struggle for me. I didn't have good long run speed. I didn't have good short run speed. I didn't have good middle run speed. So I'm happy with a P3 or whatever it was. Yeah, that's all it was. It was a tough race.
Well, you come home in the third position. You said it was a tough race. You know, obviously coming home in third, you're in the playoffs. What do you gotta do going into next week at Phoenix to prepare?
I've got to put in work. I suck at Phoenix like something fierce. I don't know why. Just me and that track do not get along. If I can get to Homestead, I've got a really good shot at Homestead, but I've got to get to Phoenix first. I feel like I'm going to have to get a top 10 to feel safe.
Well, you put on a really good performance here tonight, Sam. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank or shout out to?
Yeah, I thank my teammate Justin Rodden for giving some pit crew, being on the box and doing a little spotting. Thank you guys for putting on the lead. Thank you guys for putting on a good broadcast.
All right, Sam, good talking to you. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium next week, and good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
I believe Corey has caught up to runner-up now, Adam de Blasio.
All right, Adam, a second place finish here today, and what was a really interesting race, a race that kind of had a couple different faces to it. You led the race early, then you had Matt Busa in the mix, and then he pulled it behind the wall, and it seemed to be your race until a final caution. So how do you summarize how this race went altogether?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm still trying to figure out what happened lap 1, and still seeing if the 51 came across my nose, or I got him, or if it was a combination of the two of us going for that bottom lane, which it appears to be. But I don't know. Homestead's going to be interesting with a couple drivers that are going to be mad at me apparently. So try to get a win at least tonight, so that Homestead feels better in the future when something happens, should it happen.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you had that race locked up before that final caution, but it looked like, I mean, I don't know if it was too much of a wheel spin exiting your pit stall, maybe a slower stop. What was the issue there on pit road? Was it just a slower stop that you couldn't get out of the pit road first?
I think it's just a slower stop. I lost the championship last year with a slower stop at Homestead, and nothing's new. I don't know how to fix it, but can't do anything about it. But glad that nice second place finish. Congrats to Ward. He hasn't won in a while, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and just think about it in the grand scheme of things. If this was Homestead and this was the order, it would be your title. Obviously, you want the wins, but we'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks at ISM and obviously at Homestead, where you already have your free pass ticketed out for that. So for your second place, man, who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Fight for putting on the league, you guys for broadcasting it, PTRTV on LSRTV, and Michael Duel. It was a Doolok 250. He sponsored the race, so thanks for sponsoring the race. And yeah.
All right, man. Thanks again for talking to us, and obviously we'll be talking to you in the next couple weeks.
Yep. Thanks.
And now Brandon has caught up with the race winner here tonight, Nick Ward.
Climbing out of the race car now in victory lane, Nick Ward getting the win tonight. Nick, how you feeling?
I don't even know. I mean, it's so amazing to come out here and actually get a win out here in this league. I mean, it's been over 2.5 years. I think the last time I won with these guys was back in Bristol of 2016. So, I mean, I'm still shaking. Like that last restart, I mean, I beat Adam off of pit road, and I was just hoping to hit my marks to be able to get around there. And the caution kind of makes it a little bit less, but I mean, you take what you can get out here with these guys. The competition's just so strong out here.
Dude, you led like 7 laps tonight and came home with a win against Adam de Blasio, who has 13 wins on the season. How do you feel?
I mean, it's always special getting a win in this league, regardless of who's out here. But with Adam, I mean, me and him are really good friends, and we've talked about it a lot, how there's been a couple times this year where I've been right there up there with him, and luck's just taken me out of the game. So, I mean, it's amazing. It was fun out there racing with him, and you know, that caution is really what got me out there, and the pit crew is really what did it. I mean, they got us done in a 12.8 and was able to get up there and really charge off of pit road. So, I mean, it's just an awesome feeling getting the win, and it's just amazing racing with these guys.
Man, run us through that final restart of the race. You just got the race lead off pit road. You're trying to focus on what you need to do. What's running through your head?
Well, I mean, the big thing was not messing up that restart. I mean, we came into 3 and 4, and I was just shaking, getting ready to go green, and pace car pulled off, and I checked my mirror, wait for Nieto to roll up a little bit, and he rolls up on my bumper, and looks like he slows up and took off. Felt like the rear wheel spun a little bit. Going into 1 and 2, I knew I didn't have any issues as long as I didn't get up off that bottom lane. So I felt fine, you know, going down into 3 and 4. It was just a huge concern because I saw Adam take a little bit more of a higher arc, a higher line into that corner, and I was really worried that upper line was going to actually work early in the run here on that final restart. And when he came off of 4, he really hadn't gained anything. So I was glad, and we go off into 1 and 2 again, and it seemed fine. And there, right before that final caution came out, I drove it off into 1 and 2, made a mistake, got up about half a car width, and just the car wouldn't turn. And I saw Adam coming with the huge run, and before the caution flew, all I was thinking about was the only thing I've got for him now is with that huge of a run, I've got to try the top, and I got to try and make it stick. But, you know, I mean, we didn't get to see what was going to happen because that caution flew. So, I mean, it was really nerve-wracking getting all the way to the end, and yeah.
Well, you did it. You pulled it off. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank and shout out to?
I mean, I'd just like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Jacob for running this amazing league and all the admin team that helps out here with our Cup Series on Monday nights with integrity, and just everybody in the league. I mean, they're also such a great group of guys. Everybody's out here having a great time, and I know we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but I mean, it's part of the race. And thank Adam and Fourth Gear Gaming and all those guys out there, and just putting on such an amazing race that we get out here tonight. I mean, I know we started out rough, but it was good all the way to the end. And Adam, again, just big help over the last year or so, because I mean, I've really struggled through some of these races, and he's kind of helped pull me through even when I've not had speed. And thank Lockdown Racing. I mean, those guys have also helped over the years putting together fast cars for when we were able to go run open, and just being able to draw from that resource of knowledge on how to be faster out here in these cars. And of course, you guys for bringing these races live to all the viewers, and for us to go back and kind of watch and see what we did right and what we did wrong.
Well, you come home with the victory. Awesome, awesome job. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner on the night, Nick Ward.
All right, so that is your post-race show. Talk to the top 3 finishers here tonight. So we're going to wrap up coverage with our quick shout-outs here on the channel. Want to give a quick shout-out to everybody who tunes into these broadcasts and enjoys them. We do have announcements for our PTRTV future in the near future, so stay tuned to social media to find out all the good information on that. And Quick shout-outs to our channel sponsors over the years: Air Movement and Fabrications, Kroots Custom Graphics, Overlays by iBog, iRacing Broadcast, Overlay Graphics. Shout out to them, all three of those companies, for everything that they have done for the channel. And want to welcome back Brandon Kroots to the booth with me. Thanks for helping me out tonight, Brandon, and I hope to hear from you in the future. And stay tuned to tomorrow night, Sam Maxwell Customs ASRS Truck Series, as they wind down their campaign. That's going to be at ISM Raceway. Only 2 races left in that schedule, as both of these leagues ending up their 2018 campaigns. So signing out of the booth after tonight's race is Corey Silva and Brandon Kroots. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time, guys.